Have you heard of Grim Fandango?
It's so cool! Want to hear about it?
Hi, I'm Bao from Hi-Hu, and it's been my pleasure to play Grim Fandango Remastered. Originally made by LucasArts and then remastered by Double Fine Productions, just like Day of the Tentacle and The Secret of Monkey Island. Grim Fandango was released in 1998 for PC, and the remastered version was released in 2015 for PC, iOS, PlayStation 4 and Vita. Grim Fandango is an adventure game which is set in the Aztec afterlife, where everyone is a spooky skeleton or a demon summoned to do menial labor. The game is played over 4 years, each year set in a different location on the Day of the Dead, where most of the dead people are in the land of the living, visiting the Rellos. You play as Manny Calavera, who is a reaper and a salesman. That is, he goes to the land of the living, which is depicted by magazine clippings like a serial killer's letters, to bring dead folks back to his office. He then tries to sell them upgrades to make traveling the underworld easier, otherwise I would have to spend 4 years traveling the underworld and going through trials and whatnot. These packages would depend on how good a life the person has led, but also the better the package, the more commission for the salesman. Manny decides to get a leg up to get some commission, and steals his co-worker's mark, which puts a saint in peril, which in turn forces Manny to go on his adventure. The story is awesome and full of colourful characters, with puzzles weaved throughout the story. Unlike Day of the Tentacle, where the story happened at the beginning, then you needed to do all the puzzles, then the story picked up at the end, Grim Fandango's story is a whole lot more linear. And so are the puzzles. This resulted in far less fucking about, rubbing all the useless shit you picked up on all the other things. And also meant I didn't need to use a guide as much as I did in Day of the Tentacle. But it still has many of the same problems, such as the lack of any quest log or hint system. Some of these puzzles are still a bit mad, and the interactable objects are still difficult to find sometimes, as well as the paths you can take. A good example of this is during the first year, where Manny needs to get past some fiery hell beavers that make dams out of your bones. What you need to do is pick up a bone that's only slightly different colour from the rest of the bones from the dam. Walk down a path on the left, it just looks like a decoration, and throw the bone into the water or tar or whatever that is. Then you need to use a fire extinguisher on the beavers as they dive in after the bone. This is all a bit complicated, but at least you know that you're trying to get past the beavers, in contrast to being totally lost in Day of the Tentacle. The characters of the story are a big highlight for me. Each have a personality and a comic line to say. Throughout your journey you meet a wide variety of characters, from your driver and bestie, the demon GLaDOS, whose sole purpose in life is to drive fast cars, to shady mob bosses and henchmen, to beatniks and revolutionaries, to communist worker bee demons, and to very talkative ladies who wouldn't have nothing less than to nibble on Manny's bone, if you know what I mean. All these characters have excellent voice acting, with a wide variety of accents and ethnic backgrounds. It's so unusual for me to play a game where the main character is anything other than an American meathead, or just a silent protagonist. This diversity made each character feel alive and gave them a personality, rather than say Skyrim, where all the dead soulless guards are played by the same man and woman, who may also run the shop down the road. The best part of the story for me was in the second year, where as you solve puzzles you meet all the people Manny has met over the past year. You travel around a seaside town, trying to get on a boat to chase after the girl. I quite enjoyed all the stories and conversations I had, as well as the film noir aesthetic of the place. It gave Manny more of a personality and made him more relatable. Saying that, there was a situation where Manny witnessed the murder of a friend. Yeah, dead people can die somehow in the afterlife because flowers? Anyway, after this, Manny blackmails the murderer to represent a communist demon bee leader as his lawyer, which makes Manny seem a bit mental in my opinion. And the game sort of goes downhill from there. The third and fourth years pass relatively quickly, and with much less interesting characters. In the original game, the developers used 3D models over pre-rendered static 2D backgrounds, and in the remastered version, the 3D models have been upgraded with higher definition, although still look a little bit clunky, especially the pink Russian gorilla demon. The backgrounds are exactly the same as the original and look great most of the time, although a little bit weird when they have characters that are in the background. And they look like pixel monsters when their counterparts just look like everyone else. For example, in the jazz bar. There's no fail state and you can't die, but you need to save often anyway as there's no autosave. And the game is subject to some bugs. I didn't get any crashes myself, but I did get stuck once where GLaDOS took forever to turn around and talk to me, and so that was frustrating. Normally I would have restarted the game, but it was quite a while since I saved, so I just went off and did something else while he did his thing. The mouse controls are easy to use and feel natural, although Manny only runs when you double click, which you can't do to interactable objects, and Manny walks like he's wearing concrete shoes. that is slowly. I got around this by simply double clicking next to an object I wanted to interact with. You can use a controller, which was fine, but with fixed camera angles, I ended up spinning around when I changed scenes because the camera had changed, and pushing up suddenly made me go back the way I came. So I just stuck with the mouse controls. Interacting with objects is simple. Unlike Day of the Tentacle, there's only 3 options: inspect, use, and pick up. I found the inventory was a little bit annoying. You have to go through each item you picked up and find whatever you need. And also you need to click on the object to find out what it is, because it's not immediately obvious what objects are. This could have been fixed with just a simple label, like this is a balloon animal cat, or a balloon Robert Frost. So how does Grim Fandango hold up? Well, obviously I think it does quite well, and yes, you should get it. I was really engaged with the challenging but not impossible puzzles, with the characters and the story, as well as the excellent comedy that's spread throughout the game. It's just a fun, smart, funny game, so make some time and play it. This has been Val reviewing Grim Fandango for Hi-Hu. If you liked this vid, please hit the like button, and for more reviews like this, subscribe to our channel. We've also started up a Steam Curator page, so click on the link in the description below and join the conversation. And as always, thanks for watching.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.